Good afternoon and welcome to our kitchen. I'm Gordy Galusha.
I'm Nancy Ostrich.
And today we're going to be making
Chinese beef
and
peppers.
Peppers and scalloped pineapple and a pineapple upside down bundt cake. And we're going to start with Nancy.
Thank you. Unbeknownst to us, we're going to show you how to use pineapple in two different ways. One is a dessert and another as a side dish. So I'm going to start out with my recipe for the Chinese beef and peppers. I guess anything you put soy sauce to it can be characterized as Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so this is going to serve 6 people. And I have already, I'm using ground beef. You can do the 90, the 85, whatever you normally use. And I've made them into 6 patties. And I'm going to brown them and turn them over, brown on both sides. And when they're practically done, then you take them out and drain off the fat. Then I'll tell you, because we'll do this off camera. You put them back, the patties back in the fry pan, and you add 1 3/4 to 2 cups of either hot water and 2 beef bouillon cubes, or about 2 cups of beef broth. And if you use a beef broth that most of them anyway, some are lower sodium, be careful with the amount of salt you want to add, and salt and pepper to taste. And then a 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger. And that will happen while Gordy is doing her recipe. And we're going to let that simmer in the broth for a while, 15 minutes or so. So I'm going to brown my patties and drain the fat, put them back in, and pour on that broth and ginger and salt and pepper. So while that's doing it, over to Gordy, and she will do her.
Okay, today I'm going to make a pineapple upside down bundt cake. This is a bundt cake pan. And then make sure when you get ready to make this cake that you use Pam. I use a baking pan with flour, and make sure that you spray it good. And inside here I have 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar and 1/4 cup of melted butter, and I mixed it up, and it was a little thick, so I put a little pineapple juice in it. And I mixed it all up and put it in the bottom of my pan, and that's what it looks like. Now I'm going to take halved pineapple slices, and put those in the bottom on top of the brown sugar and the butter. Okay, in the middle I'm going to put a cherry. Okay, that's that, and let's put this over here. Okay, now I'm I'm going to set this aside, and in my bowl here I have a yellow cake mix. And I have 1/3 cup of Crisco oil, 1/2 cup of pineapple juice, 1/2 cup of water, 3 large eggs, and I sliced up my pineapple and cherries and put them in the bottom. So I'm going to mix this up. Make sure that it is nice and smooth. Okay. And now I'm going to spread it on the oven. Is the oven on, Nancy?
I sure hope so.
Okay, I didn't turn it on. Okay, I'm going to pour my cake batter over my pineapple and cherries. Okay, just about all of it out of there. And you smooth the top around, let's top out. Oh, looks like I made got a little there. I don't think that'd be too bad of a thing. Okay, and smooth it all out. And you put it in a 350-degree oven for 35 minutes. It's very easy and it's delicious after it's all done and you take it out and you have it warm. So try it. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Nancy?
Okay, I'm just ready to turn my beef hamburger patties over to cook more. So I'm going to do my pineapple recipe right now. My scalloped pineapple. I'm going to start out by creaming together 1/2 cup of butter or margarine and 3/4 cup of sugar. And then to that mixture, I'm going to beat in 2 eggs, one at a time. And then I'm going to add 2 cups of cubed white bread, crust taken off. I had to scrounge around for some white bread because I don't usually keep a lot on hand.
You eat a lot of bread, Nancy?
Not white bread.
Not white bread?
No.
You eat whole wheat and rye and...
Yeah. And also a half of a 20-ounce can of pineapple chunks, drained. I've never made this before, so we'll see how it comes out. I'm always looking for a side to have with whatever I'm cooking. Mix that all together. And I want a 1-quart baking dish. And this will go into a 375 if you can do it, but we're in a 350. We're cooking the other cake, so. And that'll bake for 40-45 minutes till it's clean if you put a knife into it. Okay, so we can continue on with our hamburger patties. At this point, I'm going to put them on a plate right now so I can drain off the fat. These are going to simmer for a while in the broth, so they don't need to be fully cooked at this point. Okay, now I said to this, now we can add 2 cups of beef broth or 2 bouillon cubes with 1 3/4 to 2 cups of water. And a half a teaspoon of ground ginger. Some salt and pepper to taste. Also, I could have put this garlic in when I was cooking the hamburgers, but I would have lost them when I drained the fat off. So I'm also putting in a couple of minced cloves of garlic. I'm going to put the hamburgers back in again. And we start to simmer those for about 15 minutes. And meanwhile, which you can add these vegetables at some point, I have prepared 4 celery stalks, which I've chopped up, and 2 medium to 2 large green peppers, cut up in small strips. I had a red pepper left over from before, so I have green and red pepper, which will make it more colorful. And 6 to 8 whole scallions, which I have cut up in slices. So in about, we will break now, but in about 5 minutes or so, I'm going to add these vegetables to the simmering hamburger. So that has to happen, but we're going to break while we do that, and we will be back when everything is ready to go again. Okay, I've let my vegetables and hamburger patties simmer for about 15 minutes, letting the vegetables cook. Now we're going to thicken up the broth that's here. And in a separate bowl here, I want 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. And 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. And 1/4 cup of water. Get this cornstarch dissolved. I'm going to add this to the vegetables and beef. And watch it thicken up. You can cover this and simmer it for a little bit longer. I think the vegetables are pretty well cooked, and the broth and the cornstarch are thickened. So, my pineapple dish is almost ready to come out of the oven. In fact, it could be ready right now. So let's check on it. Meanwhile, Gordy's pineapple upside down cake is out of the oven and looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks good enough to eat.
Big question is, will it come out of the pan?
Yes, I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes. We'll find out.
I gotta see whether. I think this should let this sit for a while. So, I think when we come back, we'll be at our table. Welcome back to our table. We have 3 things to show you today that we've made, and 2 of them are with pineapple, and unbeknownst to the both of us, we decided to do something with pineapple. Beautiful pineapple upside down cake, that Bunt cake that Gordy made, and I made it's like a side of pineapple. It's called Scalloped pineapple, and you made it with cubes of breadcrumbs. Cubes of bread, white bread, and eggs and sugar, and the pineapple chunks, and then baked it in the oven. And to go with that, for me, I went with Chinese beef and peppers. Instead of using, this recipe doesn't call for round steak, or it calls for hamburger, which sometimes the round steaks, top rounds or whatever, even though you simmer them for a while, they're not always tender, but you can probably figure that the hamburger patties are going to be tender. You even simmer them in a broth for a while, and then you add chopped up green pepper, and I had red pepper also, so I've got a little Christmas coloring there, celery, and scallions. And you let that simmer until you cook down the vegetables. However, tender, crisp, or whatever your preference is. And in the end, you just thicken it up with cornstarch, soy sauce, and some water. And then you will serve this, probably, I will, over rice of your choice. So Gordy, how about your?
Today I made a pineapple upside down Bunt cake, and it's made in a fluted pan, and you have to make sure that you spray it real well so it'll come out like this. And it's made with brown sugar and butter. I have melted a half a cup of butter in the brown sugar, and then I used a yellow cake mix, and I put Crisco oil and pineapple juice and water and 3 large eggs, and I mixed it all up. But first of all, I mixed up brown sugar and butter mixed up, and I put it in the bottom to make the well, I don't know what you want to call it, the bottom of the
Bake like a glaze.
A base for the
cake mix.
Cake batter.
Yeah.
Okay, after you've made that, then you put your pineapple and your cherries down, and this is what it looks like when you do that. And then you have a yellow cake mix, and I put Crisco oil and pineapple juice, water, and eggs, and I sliced 4 pineapple slices in half and 8 maraschinos. But there's only 7 there because I didn't have room enough for the other pineapple slice. Well, anyway, this is what it looks like, and I hope you do try it because it's a very good cake. It's good for parties and picnics and whatever else you would like to use it for. If you'd like any of these recipes, please send a self-addressed stamp envelope to Dalton Community Cable, 151 Park Avenue, Dalton, Mass. 01226. And that is all from our kitchen today. Have a very good day. What number is this?
Okay. All set?